What is up, everyone? It's Noxious, aka Nox, and I am here with yet another episode of the HCOM Podcast. Once again, I am by myself. It's all good though, because this is going to be like maybe 30 minutes. I guess what I would really, again, I didn't have any notes here, but I was thinking to myself, what can I talk about on this episode? This episode is going to be posted a little later than normal. I had some CPU issues, so I had to get that taken care of. Fixed it all. The computer started beeping at me, so I had to make it, stop beeping at me. So let's fix some parts and everything. But I guess I would piggyback off what I talked about the previous episode. The reason why. Because I've seen a lot of people playing Apex lately, and they're playing like tournaments, or I would ask them, how they feel about the competitive side of Apex Legends. And for those of you who don't know, Apex Legends is a first-person shooter game made by Respawn Entertainment and eSports. And so I've seen if you go on the streaming platform Twitch, Apex numbers have consistently been fairly high to decent, whereas Call of Duty has been kind of low. And so, being that I've played Apex since launch, being that I've played COD for years, I wanted to get some people's perspective from the Apex Legends scene, because I don't really play Apex competitively. I know a little bit about it, scratching the surface about it, or scratching the surface of it, but I don't really know it too well as I know the competitive side of Call of Duty. So I noticed that there's a little less toxicity in Apex Legends than there is in COD. Now, one could argue any esports game has less toxicity than Call of Duty, hands down. Sure, Call of Duty is so super toxic. But I was wondering why people don't rage as much in Apex. I was like, is it because of the mechanics? Is it the community? Is it because they just, the SBMM is not as bad in Apex as it is in Call of Duty? There's still people trolling about roller players, like controller versus mouse and key in Apex. That's a given. Anytime you have cross-platform and you have a controller player versus a mouse and keyboard player, 9 times out of 10, the controller player might have the advantage because of, aim assist and all that other stuff. But I just noticed, and it could just be me, I'm just saying from my perspective, I've noticed there's less toxicity in the Apex community. There is some. I'm not saying that there's none. There is some, but not as much as I've seen in Call of Duty. So I was talking to some Apex players, and a lot of them just because, a lot of them, I guess, attribute that is because they just like to have fun on the game. Some just like to, game with their friends and just hop on and play pubs and have a nice time with their community, in their chat. Others, they play rank, and it can get competitive, of course, because it's ranked, but they don't really rage as much. It's just they're just looking at, how did this person kill me? They're looking at the gun and then the damage and everything, and then they just talk over there with their team yeah, we should have just, Valkyried over here, or we should have just, ran back. And again, I've seen some people rage. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Apex Legends does not have toxic people or that people that get really irritated, but it seems like it's more laxed compared to Call of Duty. And I think that's why Apex is probably growing, or has grown to where it's at. The fact that it's free to play still after 4 years is still, pretty damn good too. I think it's still free to play, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's different seasons. Now, however, from a developer side, things have kind of dropped or fell off. There's some developers that left that were actually committed to making the game good, and there's a lot of Apex Legends players and content creators that are really not too big, or not a fan of some of the legends and their capabilities. It's maybe too powerful or too OP, or they don't care about this and that. They just want a fun game to play. It seems like Apex Legends got too political, if you know what I mean, trying to, say something without saying something. But it is they just want a game and a well balanced game because when it came out on launch, I didn't dabble too much into it as heavy as I was when Call of Duty. I played the game when it came out for a few months, but then I had to get back on COD because I was a part of the comp team, so we had to do practice and everything. But a lot of different players in my clan at the time when we were doing clan wars and stuff, they were always telling me, "Hey, get on Apex," or "Hey, get on Rainbow Six Siege," you know. And I wish I had played it more, both those games more back then. It was just I was just focused on Call of Duty. Like I lived Call of Duty. I ate Call of Duty. I shat Call of Duty. Like I just live, breathe, and eat it. But it was just I just consumed it. It was well, I guess Call of Duty consumed me. But I noticed though with Apex though, it's there's less bugs. It's less buggy. I'm not saying that there's none. There are a few, but it's less buggy than Call of Duty. There's less people hacking in Apex Legends than Call of Duty. The community seems a lot more inviting. Like I would hop on people's streams that I don't even know. I just bounce, because I love watching streamers and up and coming content creators. Like I love watching them, helping them grow. Um, you can call me an angel investor, I guess. I've helped two of them grow for the past few years. Just invested in and helped them get to where they're at. But I like seeing people grow, like actual good vibes, like good people, you know, that have a passion for gaming. Because esports is still viewed, at least in America, it's not viewed as something. Uh, it's not viewed as like it's not widely viewed as a sport or even a career. It's just as a hobby. Whereas like in Asia or Europe, it's actually like people get behind it, and so I think that's why Call of Duty did the city-based franchising, which that's a whole other topic. But I'm getting off on the off ramp. I'm about to get back on the freeway here, but on the off ramp, it's like owning an esports team in America is not that great of a business, unfortunately. It's just not, and so a lot of people who are in America, and this is me getting back on the freeway here, that are trying to get into esports, they don't really have a whole lot of support other than their own community. Does that if that makes sense? Because in America, esports and gaming is not really widely viewed as something more than just a hobby, unfortunately. But it's getting more recognition. Like I said, in Asia, that's a whole different story. In Europe, it's a whole different story. Like you could go to any of those two places. I mean, Singapore is pretty much like the number one city. I think it's either Singapore or Shanghai. One of those. Either Singapore's number one and Shanghai's number two, or Shanghai's number one and Singapore's number two, as far as the number one top two cities in the world for esports. Google that shit. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. But with all that being said, being that a lot of people that I've viewed that are streaming do live in the United States and they don't get that many views or support, it's nice to see them still striving. I've seen some people from Canada from streaming, some people in Japan, a lot of people in Europe. I've watched Finland, like Germany, like all around the world. But a lot of them, when I ask them different questions, you know, they all kind of have the same answer, no matter where they are in the world. It's just vibes. They're vibing, good vibes only, you know, and they're so inviting. Is to the point I was going to make earlier here. Is I could hop in a stream, start a conversation. They're like, "Hey, you play Apex? Feel free to hop in if you want. Like, let me know if you want to play." I've gotten that a lot. Like, not saying if I research heavy into other games I wouldn't get that, but it seems like the Apex community is more inviting. It's more like all about good vibes, having a fun time. Yes, they can get competitive, but it's even when they are competitive, they're not like ripping into their teammates, or there's like a collective, like they figure out what went wrong or whatever. Um, Granted, when there's money on the line, that's a different story. But even then, I watch some teams and they just in the heat of the moment they might get frustrated, but then at the end of the day, they're like, it is what it is. We should have all played better. It's now there's less finger pointing is what I've seen so far, at least. And Call of Duty has a lot of that too, where there's more team efforts, but it's just there's a lot of, I don't know. I guess I'll just say there's just a lot of toxicity I found in Call of Duty more so than in Apex. But again, I haven't played Apex competitively on a team in a comp setting. Um, so I can't speak on my personal experience from that. But from what I've seen and heard versus what I've been involved in, it seems like there's a vast difference. Yet they're so similar. The games, they're both FPS games, Call of Duty and Apex. They're both FPS games. Both right now have, battle royale modes. There's team versus team modes. You have Apex arenas. You have Call of Duty's CDL 4v4. Apex is 3v3. So it's like they're so similar yet so different. And as far as the mechanics go in Apex, I love it. The different legends, I love the different abilities. And it really forces you to play as a team and choose your legends wisely. Like if you want movement, you gotta have somebody like maybe Pathy or Octane. Then if you want somebody to do scans, maybe Bloodhound or Seer. Uh, that Seer could I could talk about Seer in like a whole 2 hour segment. I pull DW in here, maybe somebody else who plays Apex heavy. We'll talk about how that. Anyways, and if you want like a support or maybe Lifeline, there's not a lot of love for the Lifeline character anymore, unfortunately. I guess she kind of fell off, I guess. But I mean, when I first played the game on launch, that's all who I would play. Granted, there was only like 3 or 4 legends available. That was one of them. But I would play Lifeline heavy. Wraith was available, I think, on launch too, I believe. But I played Lifeline heavy because I was always in that support role. I loved being a support player. And the fact that you can throw out the little drone, and if you're knocked, it can res you. It's like having a fourth player almost. If you really think about it, it can come in clutch. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's like there's only 3 players on a team, and so if one of you get knocked, and you're in a 2 versus. Well, I guess it's not like yeah. It's almost like you have a fourth player. That fourth player is resing your third that's down, and the 2 just kind of like try to keep the pressure off. But neither here or there. It's like you have to choose your legends wisely based on what your team needs. You have to have somebody that can do scan. You have to have movement. Valk. That seems like to be the number one pick for a lot of teams when it comes to movement and getting out of situations. You can just Valk out everybody, and you can scan teams when you're in the air. So that's just like a very clutch thing to have too. But then you have Octane. I've seen some teams use Octane in some really interesting ways. Like they would I mean, it's just beast at it. Like how they utilize these legends abilities is really cool. It's really fun to watch. Like it's more for me. It's more to it than just watching somebody play a game, especially in comp or in rank. When I'm watching these teams, how they're communicating and how they utilizing these legends to their team's advantage and to their own advantage, and like the split-second decisions that they make, is pretty cool. It's really entertaining. Um, and I'm all for it. Like again, I played Call of Duty for so long uh that's becoming like second nature to me. Like uh, both recreational and comp. Just I kind of know, even though I don't know comp Apex as well as comp COD, the essence and the foundation of teamwork is I when I see it, I'm like, yeah, I remember doing that. Comms are heavy. Here the moment you make a split-second decision that either gets you the dub or gets you the loss, but at least you tried. It's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to watch. But I've been having a lot of fun just watching Apex. I'll probably play Apex more. Um, but that's just something that I noticed for the past couple of days. Just watching. It's less toxic, more inviting. But I don't know. I haven't watched too many COD streams as of late. Warzone 2.0 just ain't it for me. For those of you who are wondering why I'm not streaming as much, as I really don't have a desire to play any game right now. Also, I have been busy with a lot of work, but you know, I'm doing a lot of things behind the scenes here at the Empire. Getting some stuff planned for you guys. But I just like I think I last stream maybe like a month ago did Warzone 2.0, played like 3 games, and I was like, nah, this ain't it for me. I will say I'm happy that Shipment is in the game. So I'll probably play that maybe this week. I'll probably pop open the stream, maybe stream for 4 hours. Cause you know me, if you really know me, if you know me, Shipment, Hardpoint, and Domination is my favorite. Because I can just pick up a gun, drop 60 kills, and teabag the living hell out of every single one of them. Anyways, so I will probably play Shipment just for the heck of it because I love the chaotic scene. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's fun being able to shit on kids and then teabag them, making them rage, you know. And I was solely fine. Like, if I'm shitting on somebody in the game, I will solely remember their name and their character, and I will look for that person. I will go hunting for them just to really get in their mind. That's how I am. It's just like, I love it. I will never change. No. I live up to my gamer tag. I am a mercenary online creating hell, and I am Noxious. You will hate me if you're on the opposing team. And you will love me if I'm on your team, because I will be getting you the win. Sounds egotistical, I know. Conceited much. But no, I just wanted to talk about the Apex Legends. If you see me playing more Apex than COD, you know why. I really want to get back to the game. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to really play it heavy. When on launch, I played it for like a few months. Then I was heavy into COD. Then I went back to Apex and played a few more. But I didn't really play it as heavy. And so I feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff. Well, I actually did miss out on a lot of stuff. So I'll probably start playing Apex more. Just to get some fun clips here and there. But yeah, if you're a gamer and you're trying to get into FPS games, I should say, Apex is I recommend it highly. It's consistently getting more viewership on Twitch than its counterpart Call of Duty. It's like, it's insane. Like, just look at the numbers. I'm not just spewing a web of lies here. Like, consistently, Apex is getting like 40,000 to 50,000 views, whereas Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting like 30 average. I mean, there was a time where I want to say I forgot what other game it was. It was another top 5 game, but the viewership had over 100 and some odd thousand views. It had more views than Warzone 2.0 and Call of Duty had combined. It was just insane. Like, so I mean, that's just. But yeah, yeah. That's pretty much the only thing I was thinking of is just how vastly different the two communities are. It's insane. It's really insane. Like there is the SBMM thing, the skill level. I mean, any FPS game is probably gonna have something of that nature. You have. I will say there's a lot of Smurf accounts too on Apex, and so that could be annoying. Like, you have somebody who's like a god at the game playing on an account that's a low level just to get quote unquote bot lobbies. But one could argue that's in any other game too. So I mean, it's just more so known and more common, I guess. I feel in Apex, almost every person that plays the game has a Smurf account. Almost every single person. Whereas Call of Duty, it's like some people have alt accounts. Like, a lot of them do, but like a lot of them just play on their main because like that's their gamer tag. That's what they're known for. That's just especially if you're on a CDL roster. I mean, you're leveling up guns and stuff. I mean, you don't have a problem with loading into a pub match with your actual name. But Apex seems to have more Smurfs. I could be wrong. Again, what I've been seeing so far, I feel like Apex has like every single person has a Smurf account almost. Whereas Call of Duty maybe it's like half. Whereas Apex is probably like 85%. I don't know the numbers on that. But yeah, I just feel like almost every person I have watched so far I'd be like, oh, let me hop on my other account. Whereas if I'm watching Call of Duty, they hardly ever say that. But again, Warzone might be a different thing. Warzone 2.0, people might have a lot of different accounts. But as far as like Modern Warfare 2, I don't know. I don't think it's the case as much. But yeah, but I would say from what I talked about last time, if you're new to the comp scene and you're trying to get in, because I've noticed there's a lot of up and coming players that are trying to get into the comp scene. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to make it into a career. Just know that it is going to be difficult here in America because it's esports is still growing, but don't get discouraged if you don't get a lot of support from like a lot of people because they're not going to view it as a sport or a career. They're going to view it as a hobby. I've seen some people that they stream as their full-time job, and day after day they get up and their 8-hour, 12-hour shift is gaming, and that's how they make their living. And to them, that's their career. They're providing content for their viewers. And I mean, props to you if you're able to make a living doing it. I mean, do it. Like it can be hard, but it can be done. It's proven. So no matter what avenue you're trying to go for, whether it be content creation or maybe working behind the scenes, I've seen a lot of people advertise that they're graphic artists or designers, or they'll I'll make your Twitch emotes, stuff like that, or overlays. I mean, you can look on Fiverr, places like Upwork, or you can even go to Twitter, and there's a lot of people offering their services for that kind of thing, is because they know there's a need for it, and if they do good work, I mean, support them. I mean, it's especially if you have friends that are trying to get into that, support your friends. I like what Vic Blend said. I think it's one of his most viewed, if not his most viewed, TikTok clip. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but he said support doesn't always come in the form of money. And I think that thing has like 5-6 million views. Um, I forget all that he said in it. I've watched it so many times, but it's a really good clip. If you just Google Vic Blend's support, I'm pretty sure you'll find it. But what he says in there is so true. You could take what he's saying in there, and apply that to anything in life, and specifically esports, since was what we're talking about. It's like if your friend's starting a streaming channel or YouTube, hit that follow button. It's free for you, and it helps them build their following base. It helps with their algorithm on a lot of different platforms, whether it be Twitter or Facebook. I mean, if they come up to you, if you have a friend that's trying to stream or trying to build their brand, they're like, hey, look, I just started a YouTube channel. Can you go, subscribe? Pull out your phone right then and there and subscribe. Help them out, because if you're a true friend, you will help them out. Because, like I said, sharing your friend's post, following them, it's free for you to do. It doesn't cost you a dime. Now, if you have the funds available, yeah, then support them financially too. But if you're tight on money, because I mean, a lot of people are these days, and you still want to support them, find a way to support them. Share their post. Become a mod maybe in their stream channel and help them moderate their chat and stuff, and try to get more people to start watching them, But there are ways you can support your friends and family and people that you enjoy watching, that will help them tremendously without you having to spend money. Again, there's nothing wrong with spending money. I highly encourage it too. Again, I've invested tons of money into different streamers, and they've been able to grow. But I've also invested just a ton of my time watching so that they can get those view watch hours, the watch time. If I'm at work and somebody pops online, I pull out my phone and just, I type in chat, hey, I'm working, but I'm gonna leave a lurk, just so that my view counts as a view. I'm gonna say this too, the way the algorithm works for YouTube, in case many people don't know this, many people don't realize it, or maybe many people don't even care about it, but YouTube doesn't count a view if you watch the video less than 30 seconds. So if you click on a video and you watch the first 10 seconds and then you turn off the video, that doesn't count as a view. You have to at least watch the video for up to 30 to 45 seconds. I think it's like 30 seconds, but first rule of thumb is just watch 45 seconds at least. Okay, if it's a long video, you don't have time to watch the full thing, then I said thing. Blah, 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 blah. If it's a long video, you don't have the time to actually watch the full length version of it. Just pop open, watch it for at least 30 to 45 seconds. Let it play. Go do your thing, whatever. Multitask, or click off the video. It will count as a view. So if your friend posts a video on YouTube, and he's asking you to go watch it, and maybe your life is just hectic, you don't have time to sit there and actually watch the video, let them know, hey, I will definitely get to it. I might not be able to watch the whole thing, but I will definitely try to do my best and just at least watch 30. I mean, if you can, watch the whole thing, of course, from beginning to end. But if you can't, absolutely, if you can't, then if you have a secondary device, or if you have YouTube Premium, where you can have a video playing even when your phone is not turned off, but like not on, like if you're not actually watching it, or you can have it minimize the screen, then just let it play in the background. Just let it play in the background. But yeah, you have to at least watch a video for 30 plus seconds for it to count as a view. And then so watch it the first day, then go back to it and do another 30 or 45 seconds the second day just to get those views up. That helps. Now a lot of people don't realize the small things that really help creators. You know what I mean? It's like if you for 7 days straight each day watch the same video that your friend posted, that's going to count as 7 views at least. And that's only you, not counting everybody else that's been watching it. So it's like, it helps. Like, don't just watch it the one time. Let it play in the background another time throughout the day, That helps them, get more views, viewership on their video. That helps them get more watch time hours, because that helps them to get to the monetization level of YouTube so that they can monetize their video, run ads and stuff like that. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you can do that are just like easy and free and not time consuming that will help tremendously grow an individual that you want to support. Because if you really want to support them, you will find every avenue possible to support them. Share their posts on your timeline, hit up your friends and say, hey, look, this person's been, playing this game or whatever. I know you're into this game, watch them, or, hey, look, go support my boy or support my homegirl, I know TikTok is a big thing too, but TikTok and their TOS is just, whew. But I mean, TikTok is a good avenue to gain a lot of views, because people's attention span these days are just, they scroll, they like something, they scroll, they like something. So TikTok is a good avenue to use, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't solely rely on that, because there's a lot of shit that goes on with their TOS. It's just, ugh. But you definitely want to have another avenue too, because that's only for clips, and you don't want to just get all your views off of clips. At some point, people are going to want to watch your whole, stream or something. So, stream on Twitch, stream on YouTube, stream on Facebook. There's a lot of people that have been streaming on Facebook that have been doing really well, that have been like getting successful. So don't count out any platform. If you're thinking about streaming, do your research, do your due diligence, because you as a creator, you have an obligation to create and provide entertaining content for your viewers, and you want to make sure that you're using everything in your power to make it a good experience, whether it be maybe getting a better camera, maybe getting a better computer to be able to stream endlessly, maybe doing your research on how to get your bitrate set, your CBR, your constant bitrate. Make sure if you're streaming 1080 and 60 FPS, make sure your bitrate is set to a that way your video doesn't look all pixely or blocky, all the pixels and stuff. Like, do your due diligence as well. Do your research and make sure that you're putting out good content. so that people will want to watch you. Because it's kind of hard to watch somebody with, every time they move, the whole screen just goes, out of whack. I've had that issue for the longest time. I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I got into streaming, and all my videos looked like shit. So I had to go, do the research and get some people that knew what they were doing to help me figure this shit out. So it's not a bad thing. If you don't know what you're doing, don't count that as a reason not to. Count it as a reason to force you to do the research and get some help. And don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a big thing. A lot of people, I like what somebody said, one of the motivational speakers. He said, some people say no to things and they don't even know what they're saying no to. Think about that shit. Some people will say no to something and they don't even know what they just said no to. Do your research, do your homework, put out the best content, take that leap of faith. You ain't got to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step on your journey to esports, content creation, gaming. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a long road. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, there's going to be days where you're going to want to throw in the towel and just say, I'm done. I've been there, done that. But consistency is key. Getting people involved in your community to help you out is key. And looking yourself in the mirror and saying, we got this. Every day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got this. Because a lot of times, the only person holding you back is you. And so, with that being said, I'm going to end it here. It's going to be a short one. I'll probably do a longer one next week. Who knows? But I just wanted to give my perspective from, Apex Legends versus Call of Duty and what I've seen so far. And encourage you guys, if you're out there that want to start content creation or streaming or gaming in general, go for it. I mean, esports is growing. We need more creators. We need more people getting involved in this, and it's fun to watch. It really is. So yeah. If you have anything that you would like for me to talk about, type it in the comment below. Hit me up, on Discord or wherever. Bring in all your questions. Like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And until we meet again, it's Noxious. Be cool and stay safe. And we're out.